So after a little bit of a break, we're back with American Horror Story Coven. And, has the show improved since we last saw it? Yeah, not really. Episode review for American Horror Story Coven. This is the magical delights of Stevie Nicks. And this episode, well, it was a lot of big stuff happened in this episode. The name of the game is Who is the Next Supreme? That's the big question on everybody's mind, and everybody, even Madison, is a contender to be the next Supreme, and they all want to know who it is. So let's talk about the big team up. We have Fiona teaming with Marie now. The two meanest people on the show basically have come together to form one evil pairing. I like this concept. I like this idea. You know, it goes quickly from the two of them wanting to protect all of the witches to them basically wanting to save their own asses. We get some backstory with Marie where we learn that she had to sacrifice her own child and has been subsequently sacrificing a baby every year for hundreds of years to this voodoo shaman demon / spirit, and I like that. It adds a new layer to her character. Then we have Fiona trying to make the same deal with the voodoo papa guy, but he says to her after this great build-up, says, "You got no soul, no deal." That was pretty cool. Shows how incredibly heartless and just downright awful Fiona's character is. I did like that. So it's about that point where they decide, we're just going to team up, look out for each other. We got to get rid of the rest of these witches. So they now, just like I had predicted a few episodes ago, where Fiona was going to become the worst enemy of the Coven, well, she is now. They are just out to kill the other witches at this point, and they just killed Nan in this episode. Big happening there. Didn't expect that to happen. I thought they might build up a little bit to it instead of just cutting from one scene where they bring up the idea and then immediate cut to where they're already drowning her. That was a little fast. One thing I didn't like was Fiona and her reaction to Cordelia in this episode. She slaps Cordelia, generally treats her like shit for bringing Hank, a witch hunter, into the fold and exposing them, which kind of makes sense, but she treats her like so much garbage, especially after like 1 or 2 episodes ago where they just had this like bonding moment after hating each other. Now they bonded, and now they're back to hating, or at least Fiona's hating on Cordelia again, and Cordelia hates herself. Character relationships just change so fast, and character stance on certain things, they just change so quickly on this show. It's hard to get invested in how the characters are feeling. Another big happening was Stevie Nicks. She actually shows up on the show, and she plays a couple of songs. And at one point, she gives her little shawl to Misty Day, who we already know is a big fan of Stevie Nicks, and then Madison gets pissed at her because Madison still thinks she could be the next Supreme, knocks her out with a brick, stuffs her in a coffin, she gets entombed. So Misty's been taken out of the show, at least for a little while. As far as the witch hunters go, well, they didn't really get a whole lot of screen time. There was a very cool scene where Marie and Fiona came up with this little spell to try to make them just basically take all their money away. Have the government seize all their assets, and it was pretty cool. I liked the maze with the mice and the traps, but we really didn't get too much of a look into the witch hunters, who they are, what they're about yet. I was kind of hoping to see some of that, and before we even get to it, their company's basically been seized. And they're already in trouble before we get to see how they function normally. Alright, so overall I'm going to do my favorite part first. Favorite part of the show I liked in this episode was with Nan going completely fucking berserk on Luke's psycho mom. That she finds out he's dead. They go over to the house to try to find out where the body is so that they can have Misty bring him back, which makes sense. Is what I thought was going to happen. But it turns out the mom had him cremated. And that's when she loses her shit, displays her new power of being able to control somebody's mind, tosses Zoe back, makes her drink the fucking Drano or the bleach, whatever it was. It was awesome. I loved it. Because that crazy bitch, man, she had it coming. Unfortunately, this kind of plays into the least favorite part of the episode for me, which is Nan's death. That happened way too fast, I thought. I kind of feel like they could have cut out some Stevie Nicks piano playing time and devoted a few extra minutes to Nan and building up the scene where she gets drowned at the end. You know, the whole story with Luke and his mom, all that's pretty much done now. Nan as a character's done. It's all closed off at this point. Now overall, I'm going to give this episode a C+. We did have a lot of new developments, a lot of big changes that definitely seem like there's no coming back from. They're not going to reverse any decisions here. You know, Luke's dead officially. Nan's dead. She's not coming back. Misty Day stuffed in a casket, so nobody's coming back, at least for a while. And Marie and Fiona teaming up to be like the worst tag team in history. And we had the takedown of the Witch Hunters and their company. But like I said, I definitely wanted to see more build-up to Nan's death. That happened way too fast for my taste. And I wanted to see the Witch Hunters, how they operated when things were functioning normally. You know, what they were like, get some character development in on them, why they are such a big, huge threat, instead of a couple of dialogue scenes in between the witches talking about how bad they are. I want to see their badassery in action, but now I don't think we're going to. And as far as the Supreme goes, and a witch gaining more powers while Fiona weakens, and that's who the next Supreme is going to be, it seems like what the hell does it matter when every single witch is getting newer and stronger powers? I mean, who even needs another Supreme when they're all getting buff on their own? So I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a turnaround as far as the storyline, the characters go from after the break here. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. It's kind of a bummer. Alright, JB Squared, 6/12/79 with an episode review for American Horror Story Coven. I will see you guys next time.